Hey guys, Henry here, and today we're going to be talking about Season 1 of HBO's Watchmen, and whether it's worth a watch. So, HBO's Watchmen was created by Damon Lindelof, with Lindelof as an executive producer and writer, and it is based on the DC Comics series Watchmen. This series is set years after the events of the graphic novel, and I don't think it is necessary to have read the source material to get the show, so don't be put off if you don't know what Watchmen is. The general gist of this alternate reality is that masked vigilantes exist, Richard Nixon never left office, and a man became blue and attained godlike powers. The series takes place in Tulsa, Oklahoma, where a white supremacist group by the name of the 7th Cavalry have been steadily building their influence and declare war against the minorities. They are inspired by Rorschach's diary writings and wear his unique mask and intend to take back what they feel is rightfully theirs. Interestingly enough, in Tulsa, after a planned attack on the police force, where the 7th Cavalry attacked the homes of a number of police officers, the police are compelled to hide their faces in order to protect their identities and their families. My quick intro into what this series is about is only scratching the surface of what the show attempts to delve into. It may seem at first this show contains some fairly straightforward concepts and ideas, but it quickly zigs and zags and expands its reach. It not only tries to tackle racism and discrimination, it also explores the power of the state and the perspective from that position of power and responsibility, as well as the complete opposite position as just a helpless citizen who is powerless and completely reliant on the system. It also quickly dives into the implications of secret identities and wearing a mask, and the idea of taking the law into your own hands. The show explores all these themes through the lens of the modern superhero. These superheroes aren't necessarily superpowered, but they do believe that they're doing the right thing. And while the show is predominantly set in Tulsa, Oklahoma, the show has a diverse range of characters with different backstories to explore and flesh out. And the show does a really good job of exploring this and going into each of these characters in depth, showing us just how each of them has been scarred by this unjust world and our collective trauma, with characters given specific episodes following their perspectives and exploring their history and how they fit into the overall puzzle. The writing in Watchmen is honestly brilliant. There is no fat left to trim. It is extremely sleek, it is extremely streamlined. By the end of the series, you look back and you realize that every line of dialogue, that every minute detail was intentional. Everything served a purpose, whether it was foreshadowing something, whether it was demonstrating some sort of character development, or whether it was paying something off. It is so rare to see a show so meticulous. A show that lays the groundwork in the first episode for a payoff in the finale. Sometimes when you follow a show, you can sort of tell, you can sort of feel where the writers have gotten themselves into a bit of a corner and they need to get themselves out of it. And sometimes they brilliantly do this and they craft a really smart way to get out, like in Breaking Bad, but more often than not, they just use some BS and it's completely unbelievable and it breaks our belief in the world that the writers have initially created. But this show, everything was thought out in extreme detail. And because of that, the show felt so cohesive and it just made so much sense. They set these rules of the universe and they really stuck to them. And I didn't feel like there was any table setting, trying to get characters in position for the finale with, some stupid reasons as to why this character's doing this and why this character's over there and why this character had to fly over here. In this show, every moment, every interaction, every altercation that came before the finale was vital to the story. If it didn't happen, there'd be a missing piece of information that we'd actually need to know. Every piece of the puzzle was placed and moved with precision. In the early episodes, to build that intrigue as to what is actually happening in Tulsa and what is actually happening in the world in general. And in the later episodes, it's to reel everything that's been laid out there all the way back in and to connect all of those dots together. There are two particularly great episodes around the middle of the season, which were both amazing in absolutely different ways. Both of the episodes are in essence a character study, but the format and the method in which the story was told was just extremely effective. HBO's Watchmen is by no means a perfect show. It has broad themes which I found interesting, but upon reflection, did the show really say anything? It has its flaws, you can find the plot holes, and there are definitely questionable choices that were made. But at the end of the day, those little things don't spoil the brilliance of the series. Damon Lindelof also told USA Today that he has told the story that he wants to tell, and he has no interest in coming back to do a second season. although he has given his blessing to HBO to continue the series if they wish to, but it doesn't look like HBO wants to continue without Lindelof at the helm. So I guess while the second season isn't completely out of the realm of possibility, it's still pretty unlikely to happen. And I'm okay with that. I was really satisfied with this one season. And unless they find a really compelling idea or reason to continue the story, I wouldn't want them to just go off and make a second season that falls well short of the expectation that this first season has set. So, is HBO's Watchmen worth a watch? Yes, it is. It is definitely worth a watch. If you haven't watched the show, you need to be. A show of this quality just doesn't come around every day. Thank you guys for watching this video. If you liked it, please be sure to give me a big thumbs up. And if you want to see more content from me, please be sure to click that subscribe button down below. If you've seen HBO's Watchmen, let me know what you thought in the comment section down below. Thank you guys again for watching, and I'll catch you guys next time.